Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Tuesday as we are seeing a battle at the monthly open at 47,000 US dollars. And this is really the third time that we've tested this level since Bitcoin broke down to this range. Notice how we came here once, we came here a second time yesterday. And with yesterday's candle, we did get a lot of hints because it was a massive candle with a wick down to 43,000 all the way up to 47,000. And we determined that there were stronger sellers in the market than there were buyers. And so right now, with our next test of this major structural resistance and monthly open, I think that this is the final battle that the bulls are going to have if they want to assume further upside price for Bitcoin. And so we really want to monitor 47,000, and really it's at $47,100 level where the monthly open sits to see how is Bitcoin going to react here. So far though, and why I wanted to get this video out now is to kind of teach you guys a little bit of how to, be more dynamic with your technical analysis as price action starts to come to these important levels. So if we were to take this volume that occurred here on the 13th of September where we had that major wick, that is going to dilute our view of this volume down here. And we could pull up the VPVR if we wanted to kind of avoid that, but I don't like to really use the VPVR on this channel. I think it's a little bit too complex. But what I will tell you is if we just remove the price action on the chart, now we can get a little better of an idea of the volume and how it's been since that kind of, extravaganza that we just saw a couple days ago or less than a day ago. And now we can see here with the volume, there are a lot of buyers. It's looking very good. We're seeing an ascending amount of buy pressure. We're not seeing too much, institutional sell pressure right here. And so now we're coming to the resistance. We're garden variety, curving at the resistance, testing it on the hourly chart. So nothing crazy. Doesn't look, like it's something that is bearish, but it also doesn't look too bullish, I would say. And so, I think that we really want to monitor this range here, but now we have this weekly open at 46,000 that we can watch. And so that's going to be a place that we want to start monitoring. And I know that we talked about 44,800 being important, but now we can say that the weekly open is pretty important. And that's at this $46,000 level. So now that we can kind of tighten the range in which we need for a confirmation of direction, what we can assume that is if Bitcoin is now going to cross 46,000 US dollars, that would be the breaking point that would potentially assume 44,800 is going to get retested, and that coming into the equation for God knows, gosh knows how much times at this point, maybe one, twice, third, fourth time already. So, fifth test of this support at 44,800 could break down to 38,000 to 36,000 because we know volume's already been cleared out down to 41,950. So now we can really, be less apt to risk of downside by assuming that if 46,000 breaks, that's the make it or break it at this point. But if we can get above 47,000, now we can start assuming some upside pressure. So, that in itself is only a 2% range. So I don't think that if you've been trading this market, 2% is going to be too long to endure. Of course, patience is a virtue here. And so I think now we can really finally see what Bitcoin wants to do here. And I think it's going to happen very soon. So we're going to monitor 46,000 to 47,000 at this point. And I do want to talk about a little bit of the revolving parts outside of the market. I'm not going to go too in depth with Ethereum and altcoins today because I think we've drilled that quite hard for the last few weeks. But realize that with Ethereum, if we can't get above 34.54, and that's not going to happen if Bitcoin isn't above 47,000, then Ethereum's range all the way is down to 1980. And so I am expecting downside for Ethereum to 1980 if we can't get above 34.54. And we're not going to get above 34.54 unless Bitcoin gets above 47,000. So that's why we're going to watch 47 to 46,000. That's very important. But with the US dollar right now, we're seeing some strength above 92.62 here, which is a major level. So notice we have these two candles. One has a bullish tail, and now the next one is trying to breach this level. We breach this level, the next target is that 93.82 level, and this is the area that If we get above this area, we have not been above that area since mid 2020. We've been in this range through the latter part of 2020, but we haven't been above this area for a very long time. And so we start to get above this area. Notice how this is a major area of confluence with major resistance and support. That is what I'm expecting to really affect traditional markets and the cryptocurrency market. So that's the level at 93.82 that we want to monitor for the DXY if we want to start ringing the bells of siren. But I don't think the Feds are going to taper away in a way that's going to crash these markets. So it's going to be interesting to watch how this DXY moves, but we are facing and trying to get above 92.62, and now we're back in the range to this level that would at some point make us ring the bells if we start crossing 93.82, because that will certainly affect traditional markets and the cryptocurrency market to the downside, because the US dollar strengthening, we all know what that means. And so we're going to monitor this. In the S&P 500, I've been talking about it, and it hasn't reacted really yet to the DXY. It just bounces off of these, daily moving averages, really the 50-day, and it just sits here and it keeps going. So we're below the monthly open and weekly open right now. So we can say that there's weakness. This is not a good puzzle piece and environment for Bitcoin. I would like to see the S&P 500 moving up for us to assume a healthy environment for Bitcoin. So we really need to monitor this test here of the 50-day moving average with the S&P 500 right now, because if this breaks, that assumes that we come back to the 20-week moving average, and testing that, we have not actually come and tested that for a very long time, and every time we have, it's been a bullish push back up above it. And so maybe that's the Feds doing that on their computers. I don't know what it is, but they haven't started tapering away yet. So if this continues to stair step its way up, that would be garden variety market behavior. We can't assume anything until that changes, but that's what we want to be monitoring here, because we are on the way down right now. So let's see how this is going to start reacting. And because that DXY hasn't moved up above 93.82, I don't think the other markets internationally have really reacted to that. And so Japan has been seeing strength here, seeing today finally new yearly highs, which is amazing. And the Chinese index here looks like it's going to follow Japan and probably come and see some new yearly highs, in my opinion, because Japan did the same thing with this flag. Gold's seeing strength today, which is nice to see. But that, remember, indicates some fear in institutional capital. So it looks strong above this previous resistance, which is now support. And then if we look at oil, nothing really to talk about there. So very interesting time. We'll continue to monitor altcoins, of course. The altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum are starting to follow our thesis of this potential lower high. And so we want to monitor that. And then Ethereum dominance here is also not showing strength. So we can assume that might follow the others' dominance. But Bitcoin dominance is starting to curve up following our thesis. So that's good. We'll continue to monitor this 20-week moving average. If we get above that, that's going to be a very big shift in the market dynamics, because that means that as this total cryptocurrency market cap chart starts to shed away some value, the altcoins are going to shed away a lot more value and percent-wise than Bitcoin is, and that's going to increase the dominance of Bitcoin. So with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. I hope you enjoyed today's analysis. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, Snipers